Let's talk to you about some European transfers. Bruno Guimaraes, he's on the radar. Paris Saint-Germain, he's got 100 million release clause. Can we see Newcastle selling probably their best player?
I mean, the indications in France seem to be that this isn't going to happen, and actually Paris aren't interested in this at this stage. Obviously, Newcastle wouldn't want to leave him, wouldn't want him to go, sorry. Would he want to go mid-season? Does that make much sense? He's been in Ligue 1 before with Lyon. Would he want to go back there this soon? I'm not sure. So, you never say never, but it doesn't quite line up for me at this stage.
Okay. Now, I was hearing conflicting reports about Chelsea, whether they have or have not made an offer for Sporting Lisbon striker Victor Gyökeres. I hope I pronounced that right. What's your information?
That this hasn't happened and that Chelsea haven't made that bid. And, Gyökeres has done very, very well since going to Portugal, scored lots of goals for Sporting. Obviously, Coventry fans know all about him, having done really well for them. But to me, it doesn't make any sense, because why would you make such a big money move for a player who clearly is talented when Chelsea really, you'd think, would be keeping their powder dry for somebody like an Osimhen in the summer? Not necessarily Osimhen, because he might not want to go, but somebody like that in the summer that they can really, take their time over it. And also, if you're going to make this big play of having all these young players, what message does it send if you've got Breuer and Jackson, and you kind of go a few months into the season, we're going to actually sideline you and bring somebody else
Kev,
in.
They're not good enough. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but if you make that judgment...
but they're not good enough, mate. I mean, you can make a judgment on someone in 3 months. They brought them in. They're not good enough.
Chelsea, but then the whole project fails. The whole project...
Chelsea need a star striker. Yeah, everyone knows that.
When you say they're not good enough, they're not good enough right now. They're 22.
No, they're not good enough. They're never going to be good enough.
You can't.
They're never going to be good enough.
Jay, you can't make a call on someone at 22. What was Didier Drogba doing at 22?
Phil Foden's won 4 Premier League titles.
Phil Foden's exceptional rule.
All right, there's plenty of top players around at 22 years of age, mate, where they're going to be incredible players.
You can't make a judgment.
I'm sorry,
call on
Nicholas
someone.
Jackson and Brozier are not going to be standout performers for Chelsea. They're not.
You simply don't know that.
I do know that. I've been in the game long enough to know that them two are not going to be.
What was Didier doing at 22?
I don't know what Didier's doing, but he wasn't playing for Chelsea.
No, he wasn't. That's my point.
Yeah, but they signed him, and he was unbelievable.
That's my point.
They're not good enough.
That's ridiculous.
They're not good enough.
That's ridiculous. To make a judgment call on someone at 22 is ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
But also,
that's ridiculous, Jay.
Chelsea need to sign a star striker.
Anyone at 22.
They need to sign us. Look, they're good players. They're good players. No. They're not going to be superstars.
Didier Drogba was at Le Mans at 22.
They're not going to be star strikers.
My point is, if you made a judgment call at Didier Drogba at 22, you might not have got the player you did. So you can't. That's not fair. You wouldn't want someone to make that call.
Do you think they're going to be good enough?
I don't know is the answer, but you can't make that call.
Do you think they're good enough?
But you wouldn't want someone to make the call on you at 22. They're going to be good enough.
What are you talking about? Of course you do. People get that decision made in them all the time. That's why they sign better players. Chelsea are going to sign a better player.
Is Brennan Johnson going to be good enough?
No.
So again, that's poor from you.
No, I don't think. I think he's a really good player.
That's
but
poor
he's not.
from you.
But he's not going to be Son.
But you don't know that.
But he's not going to be
Where
Son.
was Son doing at 22? Where was he?
Oh. He wasn't playing in England. But come on, mate. Come on. You know a player when you see a player.
What I'm saying is, there's potential there, and that's what they bought. You can't make a judgment call on any kid.
He's not a kid.
At 22.
Nicholas Jackson and they're not kids, mate. They're not kids.
He's just come from a different place.
I guarantee you, Chelsea are going to sign a better striker.
And we need a better striker, but to make a judgment call, to say that this is it, draw a line under their career.
What do you mean? I'm not drawing a line under their career. I'm saying they're not going to be Didier Drogba. I'm saying they're not going to be good enough to star as superstars for Chelsea.
Point to prove them. No, sorry, Kev. Go on.
Sorry, I mean, Kev.
But what are Chelsea now would be my question, because they've spent £1 billion and got worse. So it's about what the plan is for that club. If your plan, whether it's right or wrong, if your plan is to assemble some of what you believe, rightly or wrongly, are some of the most promising young players in Europe and beyond. If you then start ditching them 6 months in, young players are not going to want to join you and they'll say, well, that's a ridiculous club. I'm not going to go there and get ditched 6 months in. And the squad that you've assembled are all looking at it and think, well, if he can get ditched, if he can get ditched 6 months in, so can I.
It's not about getting ditched. All right, they're not getting ditched. They're not good enough yet. All right, Cundy might think they might be good enough. All right,
No.
my judgment
But
call
you're
is
not going to get an
they're not
Osimhen
good-
in this month. You're not going to get an Osimhen this month.
No, that's not.
but they
You're
still need
not
a star
gonna get an
striker.
elite. Yeah, but you're not going to get.
So don't say that they're
going
to stick by Nicholas Jackson and they're going to stick by Brozier because the potential might be there to get Chelsea back to the heights of where they were before. They're not.
But that's not going to happen, though,
unless
is it,
they
in the
sign
short term?
a world-class striker, they're never going to get back to that point.
But it's when you can get them, and I don't think that's this month. And I don't even have the faith in their infrastructure to get it right anyway when they have got the time. Because
as well with Nkunku as well, that was part of the problem.
That's very unfortunate.
Yeah,
that's been very unfortunate because
How old's he? How old's he? Nkunku?
23, 22.
Yeah.
So
But he's a player.
a bit older.
He's a
than that.
star.
Yeah.
Yes, he looks like he's going to be a player.
He's
he
a
looks
star.
like he's going to be
You
a
know
star.
a star when you see one, Jason.
No, you're right.
Come on.
Right, but he's 26, is he? Is he 26?
He's mid-20s, yeah.
I didn't realise he was that old. Right?
Well,
Yeah, because he was at Paris
Well,
and then he was at
20 further down the
Leipzig
line,
for a
isn't
while.
he? It's fairly fair.
All right.
No,
I mean,
you get 22. Come on, it's not fair.
Cole Palmer. He's a star.
There are exceptions that prove the rule.
Cole Palmer's a star. Nicholas
Palmer's a
Jackson's
star.
never going to be a star at Chelsea.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.